So, as I was saying, how did we get to a point where it is acceptable for us to devalue ourselves, and that is the cool thing to do? Whereas, just like I was mentioning earlier, there's no practicality in it. There's no, I don't know anybody who became a celebrity or whoever the fuck they did that didn't have a certain amount of self confidence. And for you to have self confidence, well, that's inner strength. Self confidence for you to keep going when shit's not going your way, but yet you're still going. I mean, it's not even it's not even realistic. This shit it's you want to talk about the okey doke? That's I don't know. I don't even know what's worse. Is it that or Santa Claus? At least with Santa Claus, that's why for me I don't give a fuck. I celebrate everything. I don't know a kid or any kid for that matter, what I'm saying, after the age, let's just say 13 or 14 years old, that has an issue that tells you, man, Santa Claus, we all know it's not real, bro. We just celebrate it. Now you may have your reasons, the reason what was behind it. We're not judging. I'm just saying I just don't give a fuck. Because I understand mythology too. Because it didn't have to be what took place, but it's what's happening, the purpose behind it. And to me, if that Christmas spirit, that's me all day, every day. I shit. I'm Christmas all year long, nigga. But anyway, going back to this matter at hand. I mean, it's so. I mean, for me, I have to say to myself, right? So when there's no practicality in thinking that way, how did we come to accept it? I mean, the short answer to that is pretty much you've been trained to think about it. I mean, you've been trained to think that way, and that's where your imagination or your mind is powerful because you get to train to think that way, just like a motherfucker who believes in the Bible. They would tell you, and this is no shame, that's what you believe is fine. But it's crazy at the same time. Like only just that book has all the truth and nowhere else. Wow. Well, that book was not there before everything else. I mean, it comes from other texts, other books that was there before it. That's why for you to understand anything about Christianity, the Gnostics were the first or the true Christians. Most of those religion they stem from some esoteric knowledge, like the Sufis. You're dealing with what you call Islam, but there's an esoteric knowledge behind it, and Buddhism, obviously. I mean, there's no secret in it in terms of, it's not backed by anything else but Buddha itself. But again, it's dealing with esoteric knowledge. That's why, in so many words, you may have a better chance if you become Buddhism in terms of freeing your mind because it gives you a broader perspective. And then at that point, I mean, the broader perspective will automatically takes you outside of that circle. That's why for me, wisdom is wisdom regardless of where it comes from. That's why I embrace Masonic. I know all this different shit. In fact, because I know all those different shit, now I could tell you this is what the shit is. Because at the end of the day, they say it in different forms or in different ways, but it's for you to find your true self. That's why when you're dealing with the occult, you're dealing with esoteric knowledge, those manual that gives you a better understanding of who you are. And now, it's pretty much helping you to become a lot more conscious of that other side of you, of your dark side, meaning your subconscious mind is something you don't see. Your shadow self is something you don't see. Your chakras, your third eyes, those are shit you don't physically see. And that's what they're helping you to become more conscious of. And for you to become whole, you need to grasp both aspect of you. Just like when I was talking about the polarity in us, you have your strength, you have your weaknesses. It doesn't make you weak because you have weaknesses. But when you don't acknowledge your weakness, that's when you become weak because now you become one sided. So the truth is, whenever you become one sided, you fail. You don't see the bigger picture. And that's one of the topics that the Matrix was actually addressing, not directly, but what they were saying is when you have a dream, if you have the same experience that you do in waking, that's what they call a waking experience in your day-to-day activities. And then you have those same senses, you feel the same way, you feel a certain way, you experience all those senses. Why do you say your dreams ain't shit? And then this life is the only thing. And you had the same fucking experience that you're having in this life in your dream. Pretty much what the Matrix was telling you is that make that make sense. They were telling you to make it make sense. But anyway, we are saying all of that here to show you, you got to deal with. I mean, it's not. There's no practical nothing when you're not dealing with yourself. You're not gonna have a good relationship. You're not gonna have a good whatever the fuck. And even if you have money, money's not gonna use. It's not gonna be everything to you neither, because all of that shit is secondary any fucking way. That's why when you understand success, success is you really being happy. Because if you look at success as fame and money, and this is not being humble, this is just the facts, as fame and money, then you got to get more. Like I always tell people, if you're not happy with little, it doesn't make a difference if you have a lot. Doesn't matter. And that's why now you become in that never ending battles, like you're chasing your own tail. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep accomplishing more, you gotta keep up with the Joneses, it's all competitive, it's all of that shit. Whereas your true nature, your true essence, all of us are just simply different, bro. There's no way I could do what you do. Or if I try to imitate it, it's never gonna be like the way you do it. Because I'm not you. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that, man. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant, I love you, baby, but you're not Michael Jordan. And vice versa. You're gonna be the best of who you are. Never better than nobody else. You could say it, you could, I mean, you do whatever the fuck you want to say, but let me tell you right now, you're cheating yourself. You speaking out of ignorance because you don't see clearly. Your vision, it's shaky. It's blurry. You don't see shit correctly. You're looking at it sideways. So again, this type of knowledge is what I call the tree of life. This is the life knowledge. And when you understand it, you build yourself based on the self and life. Then listen, people be talking about ego and shit. you have no egotistical issue. Your ego is your best friend. So it's not the ego that's the fucking problem, like I always tell people. It's the education that you have that's fucking up your ego. Now, because of that fucked up education, the lack of security you have in yourself, then now you gotta act a certain way, because you don't want to fuck up your image. That's why the most insecure motherfucker is the loudest nigga. But when you're secure, hey, you got it. You got it because you have your inner strength. And having your inner strength now, I mean, it doesn't matter. Now you could handle criticism a lot better too. Okay, okay, I see. Okay, I know you're not coming at me. Then now it becomes constructive to you because of you. So again, I'm saying all of that to say, how the fuck? I mean, it's not practical at all. There's no practical benefit in not when you devalue yourself. Okay, so now that I hope you don't have to agree. Okay, now that I'm done with that part, so now how the fuck did we get here to a point where devaluing ourselves is the shit? Well, the quickest way to answer this, and and it's also the best way to describe it, is where you were trained to think that way. Although there's no truly benefit in it besides the political bullshit, besides how you appear or sound to other people, out of pleasing others, outside of that, and which is also bullshit too, but outside of that, there's no other benefit in it. In fact, when you don't acknowledge yourself, how do you take accountability? And that's the reason why a lot of times we all like to say people are not taking accountability. It's true. But I hope, I urge you to see beyond that. Because even for you to have compassion for these motherfuckers, you got to see beyond that. And that, in fact, that's the only way you're gonna have compassion for them. If not, well, it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be you versus them. It's gonna be good and evil. So you've been trained to think that way. Society first. What I'm saying, first and foremost, us living our lives based on an image that, what I'm saying, based on a fucking image. So you're never gonna be happy with yourself. You blaming yourself, and blaming yourself takes you nowhere, man. The only people that gets better is the people that do not blame themselves. That I call that, this is, you put yourself in a successful cycle. It's okay, I'll come back tomorrow, I'll get better. But when you blame yourself, it's almost like at this point, I mean, what's the point? It becomes pointless for you to become better. Again, this is all practicality. This is all practical shit. This is not trying to sound humble. This is not trying to be none of that shit. That is knowing the truth. And that's what's gonna set you free. I'm looking to set you free, nigga. I'm setting you free. Let yourself go, man. You know what I'm saying? If you need rest, come over here. I got you. Come get your rest, man. You know what I'm saying? Come get your rest. To know the truth, those are the fucking bondage. or those barriers that is gonna set you free from it or of. So now we're talking about self-image and all that shit. And of course, now at this point, because how can you take accountability? You know what I'm saying? It's a fucking image. And of course, at this point, a Gucci bag. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's what makes you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Now motherfuckers was looking at you, you flashing money and all that shit. Then you have motherfuckers trying to rob you. You got all kinds of shit. And all of that derives from that mentality. That's the matrix. That's the abyss, the bottom of the pit, or the belly